Ali Software Wala and I am a level 1 student at Rehan School, Islamabad campus. So viewers, today I am here with a new and special guest. Uh, his name is her name is Ma'am Dillon. So let's start our today's foreigner interview. First of all,
All right.
how are you, ma'am?
I'm
And
fine.
please
And you,
introduce
you,
yourself, ma'am.
yes, you say my name, Eileen. And I'm a psychotherapist. I've worked for more than half a century. I am a professional speaker. I'm an author. And I had my own podcast for a number of years. And I've been helping people uh, a long, long time. And I'm interested in teaching the world about how to work with emotions so we can use emotions the way they're designed to help us have happier lives.
Okay, ma'am, that's really interesting introduction. First of all, my first question from you is like, what inspired you to pursue and career in social work and therapy? So, was there a personal experience or mentor that guided you? How did it shape your journey? So, please give me answer on this question.
Okay. Well, a lot of people, most people who become therapists have some problems in their early life. And that was true of me. Also, I had no idea I would be a therapist. But when you have problems, you feel pain and you want to straighten that pain out for yourself. And once I figured out how to straighten some pain out so that I wasn't in pain, then I wanted to help other people. Also, I married very young. I was 19 when I married, and my husband became a therapist, and he didn't type, and I typed all of his papers, and I found out that what he was studying was interesting. And that's how I started looking at being a therapist.
Okay, that's really great. So, my next question from you is, you are the founder of Emotional Mastery for Life, and what motivated you to start this platform, and how do you envision its impact on people worldwide?
That's a very good question. Um, well, I have been working with myself with emotions. I had an experience early in my as an adult, where I was very angry, and I didn't want to stay angry. And so I started asking questions. What causes anger? Why do we have anger? What can we do about it? And that was in the 1970s, a long time ago. And there were no answers. Nobody had any answers to those questions. So I began looking for them. It took me about 10 years to really get my answers. And when I got the answers, I applied them to myself, and my life felt better. So by then I was helping other people, and I would say, would you like to try something I've learned? Would you like to experiment with it? And when they experimented with it, it worked for them too. So over the years, what I realized is not only did I learn about anger, but I also learned about how all emotions work. And I had all this energy inside of me. Now, I knew that I wanted to write since I was 16 years old, but I didn't actually write this book until I was in my 70s. So it took me a long time to get there. But by then, I had all this information that I wanted to share with people. And what I think it offers other people is an opportunity to see and work with emotions so that they can make their lives better, so that their lives are happier, so that they feel more in charge.
Okay, nice. I really appreciate your answer. So, my next question from you is, best-selling author, what message do you most want readers to take from your books, and how do writing influence your therapy work? And do you feel authorship and amplifies your voices globally?
Would you say that question one more time, please?
Okay, I again repeat my question. So my question from you is, best-selling author, what message do you most want read to take from your books?
Okay. I want people to take the message that life is more understandable. That there are more things that we can do about life than most people realize or have been taught. If you have a problem in your life, it's there for a reason. It's there to teach you something. And as soon as you learn what it's trying to teach you, your life gets better. And if you keep every time something happens in your life, you turn around and go, what can I learn from this? What do I need to learn? And emotions are there to help us with our learning. They tell us where to look to figure out what to learn. Then our life just keeps getting better and better, and we feel less stressed, we feel happier, uh, we have a better sense of humor, we're more enthusiastic. And that's the main message that I want people to have, that many times people see emotions as negative or a problem, and really, emotions have been given to us to help us live better lives. And that's my main message. Let me show you how you can work with emotions so they help you.
That's really great one. So, what daily habits help maintain emotional balance?
Would you say that again, please? One time. Repeat.
Okay, okay. What daily habits help maintain emotional balance?
What habits? Okay. First of all, accepting that you have emotions. Then they all come in the body. So find out where they are in your body, and then take a look at what they may be trying to tell you. This area of your body, for example, is a center of resentment. If you have a sore throat, or you're having difficulty speaking out, it usually means that you're holding anger inside of you. And so you want to pay attention to that. And emotions are energy, so they need to move. So, another main part of my message is to help people figure out how to get emotions to move, because when they don't move, the energy stays in your body and builds up, and you can get tense and have a lot of anxiety and worry and things that are not necessary. We're not supposed to live that way, but a lot of people do.
Okay, so my next question from you is, how does mindfulness complement therapy, and how do you guide people through anxiety and stress? So please give me answer on this question. So let's start with.
Very often, what is bothering people today really relates to something that happened earlier in their life. So, one of the things that I do is I help people discover where the earliest time. Um, for example, I worked with a woman one time who was having difficulty with the woman that she was in business with, and she was very frustrated and very sad about what was going on. But what we found out was that the problem she was having with that woman was the same kind of problem she had with her mother when she was growing up. So when she was able to get complete with that issue, then the issue with her business partner straightened out. And that happens a lot with people, that there's some part of us that brings up experiences that remind us of things that happened when we were younger that were painful for us or difficult. And the reason that happens is so we will look again at that issue and learn from it. Soon as you learn, the second you learn, you're finished.
That's really great. So my next question from you is, what is the first step to mastering emotion, and how do you stay inspired as a speaker and author?
That's a lot of question in one question. Um, the first step is to accept that we have emotions, to accept that emotions are with us from the time we're born till we die, and they're here to help us. And so instead of pushing them away or saying, oh no, I don't want to be angry, oh, I don't want to feel sad, I don't have time for this, we let ourselves feel, and then we say, what can I learn with this feeling coming up? Now you had a second part. It was about writing, right? What was the second part of your question?
My second part of question, that how do you stay inspired as a speaker and author?
Ah, uh, by continuing to grow and by continuing to work. I'm also in my 80s now, and um, my husband died about 10 years ago, and I'm living in a mobile home here, and I've been driving that for about 10 years. So I had to look at, how do I want my life to go? And we can do this at any age, but how do I want my life to go? A lot of people who are older sit down in a rocking chair and they don't do much. And I feel very blessed that I have learned things that really have made my life better, and I've been able to help thousands of people make their lives better. So I decided I just want to keep going. I just want to keep helping. And it's inspiring to me because I keep meeting people who, and the way I've grown now is I don't even have to do a therapy session with somebody. I can just talk with them, having over dinner or in their living room, and I share with them things I've learned, and they grow and they're happy and they change. And that's very inspiring. So I'm inspired because I know that what I have learned really helps a lot of people if they're ready to grow, and we fit together.
Okay, it's really emotional answer. Okay, so my next question from you is, how important is self-awareness in personal growth? So please give me
Uh,
answer on this topic.
re- Repeat that for me, please. How
Yes, network
will you
issue.
read?
So
Yeah,
I repeat my question. What role does gratitude play in emotional health?
I'm sorry. Say that just a little slower. One more time. What role?
Uh, okay, I again repeat. What role does gratitude play in emotional health?
Something about emotional health. What creates? Oh, well, emotional health is created by allowing emotions to keep moving, and by using them. They're actually tools, they're friends. They tell us, like, my favorite example is loneliness. If you feel lonely, many people say, well, you feel lonely because you don't have enough people in your life. Go see more people. But emotions are energy. And so the energy message of loneliness is that you have more of your energy going out than you have coming in. You're paying attention to other people. You're worried about how other people react to you, what they think of you, whether they're going to leave you or be kind to you. And when you're doing that, you're not bringing enough energy back to yourself. And a very easy way to bring energy back to yourself is by doing something that you love, doing something you have a talent for doing. And when you do that, the loneliness just falls away. And that's the way we want to work with all emotions. We want to use them so that the energy question is addressed. Emotions are all about energy, and energy needs to move. So we want to find ways to keep energy moving.
Yes, that's a good one. Okay, so how can parents teach emotional intelligence to children?
Well, one, by developing it in themselves, and two, by One of the things that happens with parents and children is that parents often feel like they're the ones who have to do all the teaching. And what I have discovered is that, all right, so you are a young person, and I could say, well, I have to teach you if I'm your parent. But guess what? You also have things to teach me because you are a soul. And as a soul, you have as much power and maybe even more knowledge than I do. And so teaching emotional intelligence is about respecting one another. Okay, I have things to teach you, you have things to teach me. We're partners in this. And so then if a parent says, well, I'm having a hard time with the way you're behaving, then the child can say, well, how can I change? Or sometimes the child says, I have a hard time with the way you're behaving, parent. And the parent can say, well, how can I change? And it's a matter of respecting one another and helping each other to learn that when you have an emotional reaction, it's something that your whole self is trying to get you to look at and to consider working with.
That's really interesting. I appreciate your answer. Okay, so can emotional mastery improve workplace and success?
And it improves success, definitely, because it's sort of like if you have a train and the train wants to go down the track and you put something in front of the train so it can't go, then the train isn't doing you any good. And that's the way we often work with emotions. We put something in front of them so we don't feel them or work with them, and then they can't do their job, they can't move. So as soon as we recognize that they need to move, that they're there to help us, and we take all the blocks, the things that would keep them from moving away, then that's when we thrive emotionally and in our lives.
Okay, so my next question from you is, what is the biggest misconception about the therapy?
What is the biggest misconception of, what's that last word?
Misconception of about therapy.
Oh, about
Therapy.
therapy. Uh-huh, therapy. Okay. Biggest misconception. I don't know. That's an interesting one. I haven't run into. I think the biggest misconception may be that somebody else is going to give you an answer to your problems. And really, a good therapist will help you find your own answers to your problems. And we all know the answers, but we have experiences and problems so that we look in the right place. And as soon as we accept, okay, when I have a problem, that's my whole self telling me, look here, there's something you have to learn, something you need to change. And so the biggest misconception, I think, is that somebody else is going to do that for you when it's your work to do. Therapists can help you, can help you focus, can give you a system for working things out. But each person, each one of us has to do our own work.
Yes, that's good. Okay, so how do you handle resistance from clients?
The distance from clients, y-
No, no, no. My question: how do you handle resistance from
resistance,
clients?
resistance. Okay. Well, I have a different method than many people. I see our world as a giant school, and everybody on the earth is here as a student to learn and grow. And the way we do that is we have experiences. I'll fall and break my leg, maybe, and there's something to learn from that. And so when people come to therapy with me, we find those things that they're supposed to learn, that their whole self is telling them, you need to learn this now. So we'll talk about it and they'll make a plan of what to do so that they can learn the lesson. Well, many times they'll come to see me and we'll identify what they need to learn, and then they go away, and when they come back again, they say, oh, I didn't get my learning done. And I say to them, that's okay. You don't have to learn it now, but just remember that the universe will keep bringing the same lesson back to you over and over again. And every time it comes around, it's going to be more painful for you. So it just depends on how much pain you want to have in your life. But you don't have to you don't have to resolve this problem. You don't have to do it now. It's your choice how much pain you want to have. And that's very motivating when people realize, "Oh, I'm doing this to myself." And they go, "All right, I'm learning this now." You probably run into that at school. If you ever have put off doing homework or a lesson, and it gets worse and worse and worse until you finally get it done. Whereas if you just go do it, it's simple.
Okay. So, what advice do you give to people struggling with self esteem?
The self-esteem, well, I used to have very terrible self-esteem. By the way, when you hold anger inside of you, it destroys your self-esteem. And then I came across someone who talked about seven pillars of self-esteem. And what those are, if I meet somebody who has high self-esteem, they will have certain characteristics. They will behave in certain ways. And these are the seven ways. They're honest, they're responsible, they're spontaneous, and they have integrity. Those are the four main pillars of self-esteem. So I teach people to put those pillars into their everyday life. And honesty, for example, is not, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you I really don't like you in the color blue. That's not honesty. Honesty is with myself. I honestly want this, or I honestly don't want this, or I honestly like you, or I honestly don't like you. Being honest with myself. And so there are seven of these, and I teach those to people because what happens is once you practice them and they become part of your life, your self-esteem stays high, and you don't have to work at it. It's not a problem.
Okay. So, how do you balance therapy, writing, and digital content?
I, I'd ask you to repeat that, please.
Okay. So, my question from you is how do you balance therapy, writing, and digital content? You
I
understand?
am no, I don't. How do parents? Something about writing and parents and content, but I don't know how they go together.
How do you balance
How do I
that?
balance
How do you therapy,
good
writing,
therapy?
and digital content?
Okay, how do I balance therapy, writing, the different things that I do,
And
like writing and therapy and all of that? Is that what you're asking about? Um, I follow my heart. I used to work a lot of in therapy. I was a single parent. I was the only parent for my two children, so I had to make the living, take care of my children, make the meals, go to school, all those things. And I was very, very busy. But now I do things based on what I feel like doing. And I also, it's very important to me to keep commitment. So if I tell somebody I'm going to write something for them or I'm going to meet with them, I uh, I I do that, and I set up certain days like Fridays. Today is my day to work with people, which I do on Zoom over the internet. So I set it up, and I've done it for so long now. It's pretty easy because I I do what makes me feel good usually.
Okay, that's a good one answer. Okay, so you have any advice for my viewers?
Well, yes, love yourself. That's a really key thing. Recognize that emotions are in you or come up in you in order to help you to focus where you need to focus so you can grow and improve your life, and also to recognize that we're all here as learners, and that everybody, especially the people that are in your life for a long time, like your parents or a boss at work or your brothers and sisters, these are the people we learn, and also the people who drive you crazy, that make you really angry. These are people that are in our lives for a long time, and they are teachers for us. And instead of saying you have to change to somebody that we're having difficulties with, we say, okay, what are you trying to teach me? I'm going to learn this. And as soon as you learn it, you stop having problems with the other person.
Okay, that's a good one. Advice for my viewers. So, viewers, this was our today's interviews with Ilene Dillon. So, meet with you a new interview. So, thank you and Allah Hafiz. Bye bye. That's
Bye.
a great
Thank
one.
you.